So I I am from India, and I did my bachelor's from Pune University in mechanical engineering. Graduated in 2018.
Mhm.
During my bachelor's, I was more focused on to working with the Society of Automotive Engineers in their all-terrain vehicle division, and there I was involved in primarily in FEA analysis or like product development for the braking system. So I have some experience with like CAD modeling or like mechanical design
Mhm.
or system design. Then I moved my focus towards like more on the material side for my master's. So I did my master's from University at Buffalo in the mechanical engineering department itself. But my research was more on like nanomaterial inks,
Mhm.
especially like conductive inks, and like use like using the materials that are abundant in nature to essentially carve out new electronics and electronic paradigms.
Rather than using
After my
silver or gold, right? So you're looking for cheaper
rather than using
material.
silver, I was like we were developing copper inks,
Yeah,
um,
but isn't
and
the idea is to get a cheaper material
yeah, cheaper material which can also withstand at extreme high
temperature?
temperatures.
Mhm.
Um, Most of the applications were related to the US Army, but most of the application related part happened when I graduated from that group. And then I started working with another group in the industrial engineering department where I joined for my PhD.
Mhm.
That group focuses on additive manufacturing and developing processes for additive manufacturing. And my work is specifically in micro manufacturing and developing new strategies to make micro manufacturing sustainable, as well as use some quality control strategies to ensure that the current vision based systems are not kind of the current visual based systems are basically the norm for the industry, but they
Mhm.
have a lot of challenges. So with my current research, we are trying to overcome those challenges by converting that vision based data into say a time series data for like rapid processing and for better quality control. At the same time, my one of my project is working on micro SLA system, like developing new micro SLA systems, like so as to kind of have something in between the two photon or the lithography techniques and the current SLA techniques or the SLA printers that we have, which will essentially benefit the biomedical as well as the conventional lithography fields. And as for my interests, I had a chance to essentially teach a course in designing, especially like design and SolidWorks for industrial engineers, a complete course for graduating seniors, which I did during the last semester. And it went pretty well. But after teaching that, I am not very sure that if I want to get into teaching or not, because from the student feedbacks, it seems that they liked my teaching, but the amount of effort that I put in, I don't see that much value coming out of the teaching part. Uh, so my I some of my questions are like I am in the dilemma of should I get into academia or should I get into industry? I
Mhm.
want to continue working on the research aspect of it, or like want to continue contributing to the research, especially in the manufacturing and design field. But at the same time, I don't want it to be extremely profit driven. Like, say, for example, if I get into some corporate company, for example, say Apple, and they ask me to work on the camera module, then it will be just focusing on that camera module, which will again change the next year and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure if I am quite ready just yet to dive in a place which is not very much related to research. So that's something I am confused about. One of my other thought was to um, get some position in some national labs, but most of the national lab positions that I look for require Q level security clearance, which being an international student, I don't have. And uh, my area is slightly niche, so most of the additive manufacturing work that is being carried on is either in metal printing or like the powder-based uh, powder bed fusion. So my work is slightly niche, although I am like more than happy to kind of deviate my current from my current work, because the things that I have learned during my PhD can easily be translated into other aspects as well. So I'm kind of not sure like what should be my strategy, or like what all things should I look into, like what all things should I look forward to. And for my graduation timeline, I will be graduating next June. Um, so I still have time, but I was planning to like apply for the industry, or like apply for jobs starting now, so that I can get some kind of taste of the industry, because I don't have any internship experience, or I don't have any work experience either.
Mm. Okay. I think I got a good idea. Thanks. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I will answer your question starting the last one. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I would say, in my personal opinion, the right time to apply for a job is right after you finish your first draft
Okay.
and submit that first draft and then apply. You have a lot of
Okay.
time. So I don't think if you're gonna apply right now, it's already Christmas. There's nobody, everybody's in vacation, sleeping mode.
Mm.
You'll
Yeah.
be wasting your time.
Hmm.
So if you say I'm gonna apply tomorrow, what will happen? You can't even join it, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Most of the industry jobs are like 2 3 months they want you to join, so you'll be wasting
Mhm.
your time.
Okay. Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, the other reason I say so is because once you start applying and your CV is out there in Indeed or LinkedIn,
Hmm.
the newer you are, what I've seen is you will see the more hits. As soon as it gets old, and
Hmm.
you will figure it out that you're not being pursued that aggressively. So be careful.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm.
Number three, the reason I say so is, let's say if I have to ask you, Adit, what is the best job for you that you would love to do it, and what company it would be, what would your answer be?
As of now,
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a dream job and dream
yeah.
company to work for, in sense, right?
Mhm.
Unless you say I want to have a startup, that's a separate story. But if I have to ask you, what would be that?
So for now, it would be Boston Microfab or Align Technologies, because it is very well aligned to my
Right,
current research work.
right. So what the other reason why I say so is because, let's say there is a job out there at one of these companies, right?
Hmm.
And let's say it aligns like 60 70% of it, not 100, let's say 60 70, and
Yeah.
you are
Hmm.
tempted and you apply
Hmm.
and you didn't
Hmm.
get it because of course it's not aligned 100%.
All right.
But what happens is once HR sees your CV, is not going to see it again. Be careful.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
So especially when you apply for a company that you like a lot,
Hmm.
be careful when you apply.
Hmm.
That means give your best to apply.
Okay. Hmm.
If you randomly is going to send your CV left and right, as I said, there are so
Hmm.
many CVs that HR has to see,
Right. Right.
then it becomes difficult.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but just imagine so many students are applying, right? And they
All
already,
right.
and if the HR has already seen your CV, it's highly unlikely
Hmm.
that they're going to see it again.
All right.
So just be careful.
Hmm.
That's the reason I say so. Look for the right time. The
Okay.
sweet spot is once you finish your first draft, because mm, coming up with the first draft is the most challenging part also.
Hmm.
So once you're done with the first draft, then it's easy. Then you can spend your then you can take out, let's say you have 100% time, 50% of time and looking for a job and patiently applying.
Okay. Okay.
And the most of the companies, as I said, is because then you can tell them that I have already submitted my first draft and I'm about to
Hmm.
graduate. You probably at that time will be applying for your OPT, which probably will come
Yeah.
in next 2 3 months. That's the sweetest spot. Nobody's going to wait for
Okay.
six
Okay.
seven 8 months. That's my point.
All right. Hmm. Hmm.
Again, waste of time. unless and until magically you get some sort of a confirmation from someone that we will wait for you forever. That
Yeah,
has
yeah.
happened to me, so that's the reason I said.
Okay.
Right. So and the reason it happened to me because I was working in the project. I was in touch with manager for 4 years
Oh,
working.
okay.
So they wanted to hire me and they waited.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. But for some other reason, not that after happened after PhD, that happened after postdoc.
Hmm.
So again, so all these things matter and make your
Hmm.
decision then based on that information.
Okay.
So that's number one. Let's come to your deeper question about this dilemma of क्या
Mhm.
करें क्या ना करें.
Huh.
You have a Shah Rukh Khan problem here.
Yeah.
uh, so for that, I would say is one of the things that I when I talk to you is both good and bad, I would say,
Hmm.
and I will tell you what good and bad here is.
Hmm.
You mentioned your passion about what you're doing, and you looks like you are very passionate. You enjoy what you do.
Hmm.
That means you are madly in love with what you do, and that's not
Yes.
good sometimes.
Okay.
And the reason I say so is because if you are madly in love with something that you want to do, you probably are ignoring what other great things are out there.
All right.
But because that's what you know, because that's what I should come up with a keyword for that, but there's common problem with a PhD student, like I had to. I loved what I
Hmm.
did,
Hmm.
right? And you will realize that that love sometimes hinders you to do many other great things.
Okay.
The
Okay.
way I
Okay.
see a PhD or any education for that matter, it's
Hmm.
a stepping stone to do something great.
Hmm.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is not going to be you're not gonna do 3D printing for 40 years of your life.
Yeah. Hmm.
You understand my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are many great things out there.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'm telling you is because it could be one of the reason why probably you not end up making a lot of money because you didn't look at something which probably the ROI is much higher because you
Right.
love this so
Right.
much,
Hmm.
and that going to be a problem for you
Yeah.
because at the end of the day everybody wants to make money, right?
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
not saying money is everything, don't get me wrong here, but
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
there has to be a balance on what are the opportunities out there, what you
Hmm.
love,
Hmm.
what your goals are, how much
Right.
money you can make, and make a best
Hmm.
out of it,
Right. Right.
right? And not saying again go and do MBA and become a hedge fund manager. That's
Yeah.
not possible also, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. And the other thing what I will tell you is you probably will end up finding a job based on what you have done in your PhD, but you will end up doing something else totally. You have no idea.
All right.
That's very happens, very common, unless you become a professor and they hire you to do something. That then also
Hmm.
it's not true because in 90s everybody is doing research in AIDS, but suddenly NSF wasn't not interested or NIH not interested in funding AIDS. They said, I'm going to fund nanomaterials. Everybody started working that. And suddenly
Yeah.
funding moves to additive. Suddenly now funding is in now machine learning, right?
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
move on, professor change their area of research too,
Hmm.
because that's where the money is. And the people who
Right. Right.
don't
Right.
change, they don't survive,
Yeah.
right? So it's not always about what you love,
Yeah.
right? So keep that in mind. Be open.
So there is one thing. I am not quite sure, like, if it is just the thing that I love, or just the thing that I'm comfortable with, or
Yeah,
is
same
it
thing.
just the
So
thing
yeah,
that I kind of believe that I'm only good at that particular thing.
yeah, and that happens because you're a PhD student. That's what you did whole life, right?
Yeah.
That's if you ask me this, I can relate that. It's very common,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
doesn't mean that you cannot do anything. PhD
Hmm.
just is think of PhD as a training.
Hmm.
That is a training for you to solve a problem. That's all. You
Right.
have now ability to be persistent in solving a problem, and you did. You got a degree.
Hmm.
End of the story. Now, what's the next problem?
Right.
That's all. Think in that
Hmm.
way, you will be fine.
Okay, okay.
And trust me, if you deal with your advisor, and if your advisor is one of the hardest one where he's persistent in doing something, doing job in
Mhm.
industry is not going to be that difficult. Sometimes
Okay,
it will
okay.
come, but it's not that difficult.
Mhm,
Just one second.
mhm.
Okay, one second. Okay, so sorry about that. So again,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Mhm.
And
Okay, okay.
again, the other thing I would tell you is degree are very overrated.
Mhm.
Being a PhD means nothing.
Right.
Being a PhD in mechanical engineering means nothing. It
Mhm.
really, the value is really what skill you have,
Mhm.
because that what gonna define you.
Right, right.
I mean, if you look at again, I can go on with Elon Musk and all that. These are some of the
Mhm.
great example, but even a common example will be like a samosa wala is known for how great samosa that he can make.
Right, right.
A skill he
Mhm.
has. That's my point. So
Yeah.
you what I'm saying, your value is based on your skill, not based on the degree or the department or the university.
All right.
Maybe the first gig will help you, but
Mhm.
eventually the skill you have. And that skill can be both soft and hard skills. You can be a great leader, or you can be a great programmer, both.
All right. Mhm.
So it doesn't matter. So identify that and you will be fine,
Okay, okay.
right? And what else, what other question you had?
So my question, the question was about like jobs in national
Right, right.
labs.
Yeah, yeah. And then question about the national lab. Let me come to
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So national lab is a good place to work for someone like you, because national lab really sits in between industry and university.
Yeah.
They are right between the sweet spot. And I will tell you one thing is there's a way actually you can get a job in national lab for an international
Mhm.
student. Don't look at DoD labs. Look at DOE labs.
Okay, okay.
DoD labs are Sandia, Los Alamos. Yeah, you need citizenship.
Mhm. Mhm.
But DOE labs,
Mhm.
which is like Oak Ridge National Lab, PNNL, Idaho National Lab, these are
Okay.
DOE labs. And the way you get into there is if you go to their website, there's a career
Mhm.
page there, and there are
Mhm.
postdoc opportunities. Get into the postdoc programs. If you get
Mhm.
lucky, you can get a job there.
Okay.
And it's very common. They also do
Mhm.
direct hire, even from
Okay.
not only from US, but even from outside. Depends on if they like you.
Okay, okay.
I have done postdoc at Oak Ridge National Lab.
Mhm.
I had a wonderful experience.
Okay.
The reason I didn't get one thing they will tell you is this postdoc doesn't guarantee you a staff position at National Lab.
Okay, okay.
But one thing that will happen to you and could happen to you if you're smart enough is you can able to get your green card very quickly. That's what I did.
Okay. Okay.
That's one of the advantage of working in a national
Mhm.
lab. But a postdoc in a national lab is awesome.
Okay.
They pay you more and all the other things. They pay
Okay.
you as if it's like a job, and there is a lot of I would say perks that go with through, unlike university.
Okay. Because like ultimately my aim is to like say after 4 or 5 or 10 years of experience in the industry, I want to start something of my own so that like because ultimately the end goal is to
No,
contribute to the
yeah,
society
yeah,
and like
but as
have
you said,
something of our own.
yeah, I mean the thing is that you can talk about that what when that will happen, but as of now, that's how you're gonna get it.
Okay.
What will happen after that? We can talk about 10 years or what your plans, things change and all that.
Mhm.
If you look 10 years back, you had no idea you will be here talking to me. So
Right,
10
right.
years is a
Mhm.
big place, big time to think. We can only plan for maybe a year. That's max we can do.
Mhm.
So
Oh no, I am just putting this out because I want my first job to essentially help me with my green card application or like with my green card processing.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you're gonna work in an industry, they can sponsor your green card. That would be easy. But depends on what type of category they apply and all that.
Mhm.
But most of the industries do, and easier if you go to a postdoc position in national lab, you have to apply on your own.
Okay.
But all that taken care of, how much citations you have and this and that is,
Mhm.
you can talk to a lawyer about that.
Okay. Okay.
But that's, you are a PhD, you already have done your first part. It will
Mhm.
be okay. Everybody does it and they get it. I would say the best time frame for you to get a green card after you graduate
Mhm.
could be anywhere from, if everything goes fine, 3 to 5 years. That's my,
Okay. Okay.
that's, let's say 2 to 5 years.
Okay.
I
Okay.
looked into your CV. It looks,
Mhm.
it's not bad. It's really looks good. So I would say try. Here is my point.
Mhm.
Try focusing on doing the good work. Try
Mhm.
focusing on learning. This green card and
Okay.
all that, it'll be fine. You will find a lot of homeless people who have citizens. Who cares? The skill
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
important, as I said.
Mhm.
Your startup or whatever. Elon Musk didn't had a green card when he started his company. My point here
Mhm.
is, if you have a knowledge and a skill set, those things are secondary.
Okay.
Go to a company where you can learn something.
Mhm.
Join a company, join a startup. It would be a best experience. I worked at a startup, and one of the best things that happened to me, rather than joining in a company like Lockheed or something, I would have not
Okay.
learned
Okay.
these things. Later on in your
Mhm.
life, you can do that, but I think early, join a startup. Like early startup, you will learn so much you have no idea. Probably that will give you a lot of idea about how to even raise money for your startup, right? So things
Mhm.
like that. So
Mhm.
do that, and you will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last thing, like if you in my CV, is there something that I need to change, or is there something that I
I think
need
it's
to
fine. I
highlight
think
more?
I like your
Okay.
CV. No, I think it's fine. I think for industry, your CV is good because you have mentioned a lot of things that people miss, which is especially at the end you mentioned about your leadership experience and volunteering experience, and you have a nice balance of research experience and all that. I think it's fairly good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's a good CV. I personally think everything goes fine. You should not have a problem finding a job.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's what
hope
I'm
that.
saying. Be persistent. Be patient.
Mhm.
You will be fine. And if you
Okay.
don't want to go to academics, don't waste your time in a postdoc. D-
Okay. Yeah.
Apply
Mhm.
aggressively in companies. But
Mhm.
again, don't go overboard. Apply for companies who need ITR and things like that, aerospace,
All
defense,
right.
all that. Don't waste your
Mhm.
time there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Apply for companies who are more relevant. I mean, you mentioned about Apple. That would be a good company to work. But again,
Mhm.
all these companies, Apple, Intel, they put you on a floor to do labor work. So
Yeah.
that's also true. But they pay you well, which is nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think if I was you, I will focus now right now to finish my draft and then
Okay. Yeah.
or go overboard on applying for jobs. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of additive companies who work in this area,
Mhm.
who are working this area and things like that, and are startups.
All
Um,
right. Right.
it would be nice to work some of those ones.
Okay.
As I
Okay.
said,
Okay.
you will learn quite a lot.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, if you, as I said, that's the reason I said, because I didn't do it and I miss that quite a lot early stage in my career. That's why I focus, tell this is to students quite a lot. If you have a product in mind,
Mhm.
if you know how to make one, like if I
Mhm.
know how to make a samosa, and
Mhm.
if I can make a perfect one, I really don't need a job. I can have my own company.
Right. Right.
Right? So same goes for you. If you have a product in mind and if you can do on your own,
Mhm.
actually that is your value. That's the asset.
Mhm.
And then you don't need anything. All you need is some
Okay.
sort of a training on finance and things like that. And you, as I said, you can make samosa. You
Mhm.
probably need help with marketing. You can need probably help with raising funds so you can buy a nice gas stove and all that. That's
Mhm.
fine. But if you know how to make it, and if you know from scratch and to the end part of it, I think this is the best thing that anybody can have. Anyone.
Okay. Mhm.
And as I said, you can then spend your time than thinking about how to do it. One of the things I will tell you, I just got my copy 2 3 days back. Read that biography of Elon Musk just came.
Mhm.
That will give you an idea about how he was from a student from Penn State. He
Mhm.
was thinking about these ideas and how he was able to do it, especially his journey.
Okay.
Because I work in a space industry. I was really enjoying how he able to put his SpaceX, how what sort of problems he had and all that. That gives you a fair amount of idea what goes on
Okay. Okay.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I said you will be fine. It's awesome. I mean, if you really want to do that, keep that idea always in your brain, even you work somewhere.
All right. Mhm.
And if you have a house, work on your garage, do it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right, and then, as he said, right, comes right time, that's it, execute it. Okay.
Yep. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem, no
And
problem. I think you are
I
at the
guess you
right
would.
track, Aditya. You should be fine. I think you have done everything right, so it's good. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
were the first person who essentially contacted me right before I was confirming my PhD admit. I just read through our past messages
Oh,
on
okay.
LinkedIn, and you
Oh,
were the first. Like at that time, I guess you started the Careerpedia page.
yeah. It's been 2.5 years,
Yeah,
something.
2020. I guess 2020.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Right around the COVID when I had nothing
yeah,
to
yeah, and that
do.
was the time when I actually got into PhD.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad it helped out. I think you have done all the right things, and I'm as you said, I'm pretty sure you will be okay. But just don't be impatient. You're
Yeah.
doing you're on cruise control. Just you'll be fine. Just focus on finishing draft.
All right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it
Thank
was,
you so much.
and keep in touch.
Yep. Nice talking to you.
You too, you too. Bye.
Bye bye.